Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to use some techniques that you'd hear in Flume and What's So Not songs, some of them, and then how to apply them to your own music to create a pretty cool sounding track. So this is what I've made. You can kind of ignore the intro, I just threw it in there just for the sake of leading into the song. And yeah, so here it goes. So it doesn't sound too much like Flume. This isn't a tutorial on how to sound like Flume or anything. It's how to use some of the techniques that he uses. So I suppose I'll just start with the quick intro that I made because it's a totally different synth than the rest of the track. And that is in here, massive. It's pretty simple. There's not a whole lot to this. It's just a sine square oscillator in one, which envelope one is just a bit of attack, and it attacks up and then it fades back down, and then the release is gentle enough as well. And that's on the amp for the first oscillator and the last one, whereas the second one is pretty much the very same, so ignore that. We've got a sine triangle and math tree. You can just, this is basically it. There's nothing else to it apart from voicing. I went into, this is generally at 1, well, from default it's probably going to be at 1. I just brought it to about 4, and I turned on the pitch cutoff, and you just slide the slider a little bit and it'll give it that detuney kind of chorusy effect. So I think that between that and the low pass filter, which is fading in on the oscillator as well, that just kind of gets you a nice Flume synth. So then I also have just some white noise fading in here. As I said, I just did this intro very quickly, and sub bass comes in, and there's some snares here which are in hip hop. I believe this one's snare tree. Yeah, it's a really good one. I really like the hip hop folder here. I used the kicks as well, kicks 6 and 7 up here. It's a really fat kick. It sounds great. And then so that's just the main percussion. Then I have this snare as well, which is one of my own. I've made it to sound like the snares that you get in, could be Jaguar. Yeah, I think Jaguar by What's So Not. But then when you couple that with the hip hop snare, I will probably do a tutorial on how I made that. I made it a while ago, so I can't quite remember, but it was just a matter of going through samples and putting on reverb, which has a lot of the low end cut out. That way you get that really high hiss after, like. Okay, so I'll play the drop now because the build up is pretty simple. Sorry. Here. Okay, so we have chants and here right at the very first beat. So this one I just recorded it myself, and that is recorded in, so obviously here I just went and that's me going just breathing into the microphone. You can get loads of these samples online anyway, but I just decided to record my own ones. And then on the breath there, where is it? Here. I probably just have a bandpass filter on it. Oh no, I just have a low cut, so I cut out loads of low end, and it kind of leaves you with that nice tone. And then this one, these two I believe are from a pack that I got. It was a free pack that I got ages ago, but so it's actually the same sample. I just stretched that one a little bit, and you could just record, if you have a microphone, just record that as well if you can't find it online, because I wouldn't have a hope of finding it because I can't remember where I got it, because I got it about 4 years ago. But yeah, just go that'll probably even sound good if you just edit it anyway. And then we have this one, which was like, there's clipping there, so you can hear me hitting the keyboard. I just recorded a lot of the vocals in just quickly, but that's just, I was singing a line because I have vocals. I was messing around with some vocals in the drop as well. I just took a line out of it and I pitched it up and I just trapped it in. It's just like sampling. And then yeah, okay, so we'll go to the synth next, I suppose. So we have two main synths and then two basses. One of the synths is silent and the other one is massive, but they're both so simple. So this is the massive one, I believe. Oh no, I think that's silent. So I'll do the massive one first. So one thing that Flume tends to do a lot is he kind of uses these discords. So he uses sevenths a lot, but mixed in with the root note. So it's kind of like. And I also have the E thrown in there as well. So. And yeah, it's those close notes like that when you put them up in the high end. Sorry. They sound quite cool. So here we have it again, if you can see here. So I was playing, they just sound good. And then I also was fooling around with snappy, just real quick chords. That's almost Chainsmokers-y a little bit. Yeah. So then the actual synth then, it's a square saw, so I left that one the very same. I put pretty much the same envelope that you saw from the intro synth. You can just see the settings that I have here. Smooth square and a poly saw 1, and then chorus and reverb, just pretty standard. Anyway, yeah, that's it. Really simple. I didn't even put any filters on it. I probably did the same thing with the voicing. Yeah, a little bit of a detune effect, but that's it. Like, it's a very, very simple synth. Camel Crusher is a really good plugin, and you can get it for free just online. It just gives it an overdrive, and you can put some really heavy compression on it. And so I probably should have taken these off actually before I messed with Massive. I'm sorry. The filter doesn't sound like it's doing a whole lot. Nope, it's not doing anything. May as well just get rid of it. Bit of compression, and then Camel Crusher. I probably should have put the compressor after the Camel Crusher there, because it would compress all the noise that the Camel Crusher would add, but I've mixed it so it sounds okay anyway. So then we have that's that, and then silent. Oh, sorry, all these get out of the way. Then the silent is playing a similar track, but I think it's pitched up an octave. So there's just weird chords all over the place. You can tell I was just like, and where is silent here? Okay, so this is really, really, really simple. It doesn't sound like a fantastic synth, like pretty standard, but I needed something to add that high end, just poking through. So I left this oscillator the exact same. I just opened up a default sound and left oscillator 1 the exact same. Changed this one to the last square wave, and I only have the voices to 1, but I turned up the detune a little bit. So I also have some filters here, just taking out some of the really high end from it. And that's it then, just a bit of reverb, as you can see. And then when you add the two of them together, oh, actually, I think I might have a stereo enhancer on that one. Yeah, I do. So I have filter here, just taken out with a low cut, and then just finding any of the frequencies that were poking out. So you can hear that one was horrible, so I cut that one out. And then stereo enhancer is something that I've started using lately, which is really handy. It just kind of separates them a little bit, adds a delay but in the background, so it kind of makes it, just widens it and makes it more stereo. So yeah, then the two of them together, cool. On to the bass. Oops. This is another massive one then. I might put this preset, I might put all the presets actually just on my website. Link in the description, all that, blah blah blah. Anyway, so it's just, you can see square, saw, smooth, square, square, saw, just all pitched down, intensities fiddled with. There's no automations in any of them. Another low pass just with Teletube with some flanger on it. That's the bass. And then I also have, oh yeah, I have sub bass in there as well, because everybody loves sub. And then the notes that we're playing is just the basic root notes. I'll just play this one. Yeah, so pretty simple. I like having the bass not come in until further into the bar, like it does. Like the synth does it as well there, but the drums are in from the start. But it's cool if you leave a gap sometimes at the start, so just think about that. Yeah. And then I'm pretty sure the effects that I have on the bass channel is just pretty standard, so low cut. I also took up some of the mid, which I probably shouldn't do because it's bass, but the massive bass synth that I had, that I'm using, sorry, there we go, it just has a nice quality to it when you bring up some of the mid, if there's a bit of grit in it. Okay, side chaining. Okay, so you get your kick channel and you just clone it. So I've done it here already, so I'll just do it again and just rename it to something like SC for sidechain and give it a different color because neatness. And I have my, as you can see, I have mine set up to channel 7. So you create a new mixer track and make it the same color, of course. So when you got your cloned kick, which is now your sidechain, put into a new mixer track, add the Fruity Peak controller, which is just here, and I've already got it opened up. I'll come to the settings of it in a minute, and then you're gonna have to plot in the piano roll where you want there to be a sidechain. So I'm gonna just delete this one because I already have it made here. So go to a new pattern layer and go to the piano roll, and well, put it in the playlist first, so you can see I have it just starting here in the playlist. And in the piano roll, then wherever you put a note, it's going to dip in the volume if you've got your peak controller set to inverted. So as you can see here, I have the volumes jacked all the way up because I want to get a very aggressive sidechain. If you have the volumes down, I believe there's less of an impact with the peak controller. But I also have very quick, oddly placed sidechains, so that's what gives the synth. Hear that kind of shaky tone. So yeah, if you put two together. So how is this working? You go to the channels in the mixer of the synth, and mine were 5 and 6 here, synth and bass, and make sure you got your peak controller in your sidechain channel. Go to your synth and right click on the volume knob for the synth channel and go link to controller, and this will pop up here. I've already got mine set, but it will be on none initially. If you have more than one peak controller in your mixer, make sure that you're naming your mixer channels correctly so you don't get confused, because they'll all pop up here, but you can see it says SC here, which is what I want. So I'm going to go to peak plus LFO, and the mapping formula will be default, but you're going to change it to inverted and click accept. And then you'll probably see the volume knobs. So I've got a load of mine linked here to the sidechain, but the volume knobs would be up at the top. So you can adjust that by taking down the bass until they're level with everything else, just so they're consistent in the mix. And you can just see, you just mess around with the settings. So the volume is just how drastic change there'll be. So I had mine there. I decreased the tension a little bit and I left the decay pretty much where it was. Cool. So that's how I did the side chaining. Yeah, cool. So now we've got pretty much, I think we've covered everything. Oh yeah, I have some white noise, just some effects then. I just have some white noise coming in, so we've got... Pretty simple. So that's just, you go to insert and go to subtractive, and there it is, 3x OIC. If you change all of these to little dice, there you go, you're done. Put it into its own mixer track, which I've already done. I'm going to delete this one. So I have it here. I selected all the dice, put it into mixer track, and then I just put a fruity free filter on it. So that's it. And then as I said, I was fooling around with some vocals. I had them muted in the initial one because I don't think they suit the song particularly well, but sure, I'll just play them anyway so you can hear them. So yeah, I wasn't entirely sure if they suited the song perfectly, which is why I decided to leave them out, but I said I'd show you anyway just to see what you think. Yeah, so that's it. Thanks very much for watching. Please like if you liked, and leave a comment if you would like a comment to be commented upon. If there's any particular content that you'd like to see, please let me know, like tutorials or more remakes or whatever. So yeah, thanks again.